Right. So, hello everyone. Thank you, Kemi, for joining us today. So today we have Kemi Ogunsanya with us. She is a graduate from University of Lagos, where she did a Bachelor of Education in English, and then she also has a master's degree in Education Administration and Planning. She has worked as a literacy tutor uh, at Ecosia International School and Christ the King College. She is currently a class teacher, a literacy educator, writers club coordinator at Sunnydale School. She's also a program manager. So we are very happy and honored to have you here with us this evening. Today, she is going to be talking about building a brand as a teacher. So, Kemi, over to you.
Yeah. Fatima, can I just say one or two things?
Oh yes, Hakeem, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Fatima, thanks for the kind intro of Kemi. Kemi, welcome. We're really honored to have you. We talk about empowering teachers. We talk about teachers presenting themselves as true professionals, just like for every other professionals, whether be you an engineer or a doctor or just any other profession. Owning your space, standing tall. And for everybody in the audience, Kemi exemplifies all of this quality. There is so much more about you than the tag teacher. And we see teachers calling themselves, oh, I'm just an ordinary teacher. And the part of the work we'll be doing together with Kemi is to show those of us who are still holding themselves back, who feel like they don't belong, that you actually belong and you are doing way more than most other people in other professions. You understand? So stand tall, own your space, be confident, and make the most of the opportunity. I'm not an expert in this. That's why we have Kemi to share her journey with us.
Hakeem, please unmute yourself. I muted everyone.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's my addition to Fatima's intro of Kemi. So Kemi, over to you.
Kemi, please unmute. Sorry, I muted everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hakeem. I'm grateful for the introduction. Thank you, Fatima. I'm grateful for this opportunity. It's a very huge privilege to be here, and I don't take it for granted. Okay, so we're just going to hop into it right away. Hello, Fatima, please, can you help me with the slides?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you see them? Can you see your slide?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Okay, so the topic I'll be speaking on today is building a strong teacher brand. But interestingly, something happened today. Something happened today that, just might change the approach I wanted to go with this session. So yes, I'm talking about building a strong teacher brand. Today I happened to be a chief judge at a debate competition. So there was a competition today of some very top schools in Lagos, and I was invited to be the chief judge for that session. And as I took down the scores and collated everything for all of the participants, I discovered that there was something strategic about the participants who eventually won or came out tops. There was something about their content. There was something about their strategy, their debating strategy. There was something about their style. So when I say style, I mean their mannerisms. There was something about the way they were dressed, the way they looked. And so I looked at those three things and I said, this is branding. Again, I'm going to mention those three things: content, strategy, style. Those three things stood out for me from that debating competition. And right there where I was sitting in front, I just knew that this is what branding is about. Having that strong content to push out, being strategic about what you do as a teacher in this case, and then having a style, a definitive style. That's what branding is. There's something I also noticed from that debating competition that applies to what I'm going to be saying today. Now, there were some of those students that when they came forward to start their debate, their voices were very low, very low. So even though they had strong points, we could barely hear them. So what happens? We couldn't give them any quality score because they did not have a voice. Again, I told myself, how does this connect to teacher branding? It connects in every way. How loud is my voice as a teacher? Because your voice as a teacher is going to attract the right attention to you. I don't know if I'm making some sense with this analogy, I'm making. But that debating competition today just showed me so much about what building a brand is. What kind of voice do you have as a teacher? What kind of voice do I have as a teacher? Is my voice strong enough? Is my voice powerful enough? So those students were standing there talking, but we couldn't hear them, so there was no score. Your voice attracts attention. Your voice speaks of your value. Okay, let me see. So I wrote down something right there, and I said, the louder your voice is, the stronger your advantage. The louder your voice, the stronger your advantage. That's what building a strong teacher brand is. There were some of them that didn't have so much of points, but they were so loud, They came to the front, they were so loud. They had all the mannerisms, they were moving around, everything. They were already at an advantage point. That's the truth. That's what building a brand is. I'm going to mention those three things again: content, strategy, and style. All right, please, let's move to the next slide, Fatima. Thank you. This is a topic I love to teach about. Yeah, I get excited every time I have to teach about building a strong teacher brand, because for me, I won't be teaching anything abstract today. I won't be teaching anything from one textbook or from one online, site. I'm teaching about my life. I'm teaching about what has worked for me as a teacher. Yes, so this is not theory. This is a practical class. You may say it like that. And I'm going to tell a story really fast. I'm sure you see this beautiful dress on the screen. Yes. So this dress was made by a particular designer. She made this dress so beautiful. And when she made it, guess what she did? Just guess. She took this, nice dress, she folded it up, and she went to throw it somewhere, maybe in a cupboard or something. She threw it somewhere. And she kept complaining to people around her. She kept telling people around her, oh, I'm the best fashion designer. I saw lots of beautiful dresses, but no one is coming to me. No one is buying from me. No one is patronizing me. And she kept complaining to people. And, people were asking, okay, where are your works? Where are the things that you do? Where was, this beautiful dress that she had, sewn? She put it somewhere. Please, can you hear me clearly? So sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Continue. I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to be sure. Now, she put this dress somewhere, and so she kept complaining to people, oh, I don't have any money, oh, this, oh, that. And one day someone told her, bring out that dress and display it. Showcase what you've got. And this woman brought out this beautiful dress. She got this, this mannequin, and then she displayed it just outside. And people kept passing and kept stopping and said, wow, did you make this dress? This is so beautiful. I want you to make my wedding dress. I want you to make a dress for my daughter. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And within few hours, this designer had made lots and lots of money. Why? Because she chose to showcase her skills. She chose to showcase her expertise. She chose to showcase what makes her different from the others. Again, she chose to showcase her content in this case. She showed us her strategy. Her strategy in putting the clothes together, all of that, and her style. Content, strategy, style. The moment she put this out, this was a game changer. The question is, what am I putting out as a teacher? What are you putting out as a teacher? Because what you put out is going to attract the right advantage to you. It's going to attract the right opportunity to you. And then again, you can tell yourself, oh, I'm not so good at this. How do I put, oh, thank you. I mean, I see the comment, seeing is believing. Yeah. There's a difference between being the best and being seen or known as the best. What do I mean? In building a brand, perception is key. Perception is key. So I wake up every morning. I won't say I'm the best teacher in the world, but every day I have to build a brand. Every day I have to put myself out there. I'm going to showcase myself as the best teacher. I'm going to let the world know that Kemi Ogunsanya is a good teacher. Kemi Ogunsanya is passionate about what she does. I'm going to let the world know that I love what I do. I'm going to let the world know about the peculiar strategies that I bring to my classroom every day. I'm going to showcase myself just like this woman. I'm going to showcase myself. I'm going to push myself out there, and the opportunities are going to come, because that is what branding is about. It's not about being the best. You don't necessarily have to be the best. It's about showcasing yourself as the best, being seen or being known as the best. Please, the next slide. Okay. I think the next slide is this picture, but let me just go ahead. I love to use analogies and pictures. I hope you can, I hope that's fine. Yeah, so let's have this starter activity quickly before we go ahead. There are 6 logos on the screen right now. If you can identify any of them, please just put the name of the logo in the chat box. There are 6 of them there. If you know anyone or you can recognize anyone, please just put it in the chat box. When I see at least 5, 6 responses, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, all. That's interesting. Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, so I see that. They're all taken. Let me see. Pepsi, the videos. Okay, they're all taken. Awesome. Awesome. I love to use this every time I have to teach on branding. You can see the Rolex logo. You see it and you just know that, oh, this is Rolex. You see the Tesla logo, you just see it and you know that it is Tesla. Because all of these guys, all of these brands here, all of these companies and organizations have defined themselves using this logo. They've defined themselves so that when you see, this round circle with the red and white and blue design, you just know that it is Pepsi. So when people see Kemi Ogunsanya, what do they see first? That's the question. When people see Kemi Ogunsanya, what do they see? Do they see a teacher? Do they see just a lady who wants to showcase her face? Do they see someone who is unclear about her purpose in life? What do they see? Because when people see this, this T and red, this red design, this T with the red design, people know it's Tesla. So when people see Kemi Ogunsanya, they must see something. What do people see when they hear my name? What do people see when they hear your name? That's what building a teacher brand is. Okay, please, the next slide. Again, I'm going to use another story. Just before I go to the next slide. Okay, this is an introduction about myself. I don't know if it's really important, so I think I'm just going to skip it. But again, all of what you may want to move it to the next slide. But again, all of what is on this screen right now is just trying to let you know how building a brand has helped me in so many ways. Building a teacher brand has given me lots of opportunities. Opportunities in form of sponsored trips. Local and international sponsored trips to facilitate different sessions. Outside of Nigeria. I've had the opportunity of being on TV, media opportunities, just to speak about my work as a teacher. I've had the privilege of numerous awards, numerous certifications. I've had the privilege of collaborating with different organizations just from building a brand, just from putting myself out there. I've been a brand ambassador for several organizations. I've had, you may want to move to the next slide. My point is, everything I'm teaching today isn't anything abstract. When I talk about building a teacher brand, it's because I've been there and done that, if I can say it, right? It's because over the years, I've tried to build something. And I'm still in the process of building. Okay. Yeah, so you may look at this screen. Again, I love to use this picture when I teach about personal branding. And this is the story for this picture. You walk into a store. You walk into a store and you're really thirsty. You want to get a drink. And then you have these 2 options of drinks. You have the Pepsi bottle. And this is not an advertisement for Pepsi. They didn't pay me for this. So yeah, it's just an example. Now, you walk into that store, you see the Pepsi bottle, and you see this other bottle by the right or by the left. I'm not sure what, I mean, by the left, right? My left. And then someone tells you, oh, pick this bottle. So let's call this bottle Mr. Nameless. Mr. Nameless is this bottle that doesn't have a logo. It doesn't have a license or registration number. The cover isn't sealed up properly. It's not even filled, okay? This is Mr. Nameless and this is Pepsi. And someone tells you, oh, please go for Mr. Nameless. Ladies and gentlemen, which of the bottles will you really go for? Will you go for Pepsi, a tested and trusted brand, a brand that has proved its validity, its authenticity over the years? Or will you go for Mr. Nameless? I mean, let's be sincere. So let me see 2-3 responses in the chat box and then I'll move forward. So are you going for Mr. Nameless or you're going for Pepsi? Okay, 1-2 responses and okay. Now, most likely, no one is going to go for Mr. Nameless. Most likely, everyone will go for Pepsi. Why? Why? Because Pepsi is the branded one. Pepsi is the one that has chosen to stand out among the others. Mr. Nameless here doesn't even have a cover. It doesn't have a seal. There's nothing about
Kemi, we can't hear you. Okay.
Sorry, please. I'm so sorry. Yes, now most likely we'll go for Pepsi because Pepsi is authentic. We've all known Pepsi over the years. That's what building a brand is about. Building a brand is being the tested and trusted one. Let me give this example. I'm sure some of us here know Mr. Lasukwami Okwaifa. I work closely with Mr. Okwaifa, and some weeks ago, Mr. Okwaifa and I were we needed to choose or recruit some teachers for a particular role. And one of the key things, the organization we were working with at that time said, for every teacher we're bringing, they're going to check their social media platforms to see how well, they show themselves and, display their skills and expertise. And then we put forward some names. And it took us a lot of time before we could actually get those specific teachers because, we found out one teacher is really great. But by the time we checked the teacher social media platforms and all of that, there was nothing really substantial. There was nothing authentic to prove that this person is really a teacher. So the organization will tell us, oh, no. You might want to argue with me and tell me that, oh, people that come on social media, being on social media doesn't mean that the person is necessarily a good teacher. I agree. But don't forget what I said at the beginning. There's a difference between being the best and being seen or known as the best. There's something about perception, and that's what building a brand is. I'm going to give an example. I'm going to relate this back to the debate competition that I attended this morning. I found out that, the other groups, most of the other groups got scores like 120, 121, 130. All their scores were in the same range. But guess what the winning group, scored? The winning group scored 175. There was a clear difference. That's what branding is. There's a clear difference. There are millions and millions and millions of teachers across the globe. But you are different. You have a different story. I have a different story. Yes, we all teach we all teach different subjects. We all have maybe similar experiences. But there's just something different that, I have to showcase. There's something different you have to showcase. Please, please the next slide, Fatima. Building a brand is about understanding your authenticity, understanding that you have a message, understanding that you have a story, understanding that there are opportunities that are waiting for you out there. But except you push yourself out, those opportunities, just might not come. I was talking with a colleague some few days ago, and she told me, oh, Kemi, all of this social media stuff, I don't know how you do it. I also want to do things, but I don't know how to get on it. And I told her that when it comes to building yourself as a brand and showcasing yourself, you can only know the beginning. So what I mean is you can only begin to take the first steps. You don't know where those steps will lead you. Those steps I've taken on social media have taken me to countries of the world. Those steps I've taken on social media have given me extra streams of income. The point is, and again, building a brand is not just about social media. I'm going to get to that later, just in case you're wondering, is this all about social media? No, it isn't. But again, social media is one of the key areas when it comes to building your brand. So the objectives for today, I'm going to run really fast. So I want to talk about building a brand. I want to talk about the steps to building a brand, the advantages of building a brand. What else? So please let's move forward. Let me see how far I can go. Okay, so I can move to the next slide because I think I've focused on some of these things on the screen right now. Building your brand is about, again, discovering your authenticity and pushing it out. So what exactly is branding? Branding is about who you are as a teacher or as an educator, what you do, and how you do it. So branding is not just about pushing yourself out. Who exactly are you as a teacher? Branding starts from the four walls of your classroom. So if you say Kemi Ogunsanya is a strong teacher brand, it doesn't start on social media. It starts right from the classroom where I'm teaching 9 to 10-year-olds. That's where it starts from. So who are you as a teacher? What do you do? And how do you do it? How do you try to make yourself different from other people? When I started teaching full-time, there was something I did. I knew that I didn't just want to be a random teacher. I knew that I wanted, something different. So I went out I went on the internet and I tried to research top 10 teachers in Nigeria, top 10 teachers in the UK, top 10 teachers in different countries. And I started to follow all of these people. Why was I following them? I wanted to know what made them top teachers, what made them outstanding teachers. So I started to follow these people. What are they doing in their classroom that makes them top? And then from following them, I was learning a lot. I was implementing a lot. And I could see the difference it was bringing for me. So just like the Bible will say that iron sharpens iron. You see someone doing something, you're triggered to do more. That's what happened, for me. So again, branding is about who you are, what you do, and how you do it. This is the next slide. A lot of times teachers complain about different. I'm so sorry about that, please. Okay, a lot of times teachers complain about so many things. Teachers complain about poor remuneration, stifling work conditions, lack of adequate benefits, and all of that. But every time I get to speak about branding, I tell teachers that the answer to all of the problems, or most of the problems you have as a teacher, lies in building a brand. So what do you want as a teacher? Everything you really want can come as a result of building your brand. I can tell you for sure that building a brand has given me opportunities or has given me platforms that I really wanted to have. And then how does it happen? In the process of building your brand, I call this a branding positioning chain, because in building a brand, you must position yourself. Yeah. So the first thing for me will be communicating your value. You can't build a brand without having value. And I'm sure everyone here in this chat room, we all have the value we're bringing to the table in different spheres. Branding is about communicating that value. That value is going to bring you opportunities. Those opportunities are going to transcend into profit. So as a teacher, you're looking for more financial, you want the money, right? You want more money, you want this, you want to get a house, you want to get a car, you want to get all of that. Somehow, building a brand can help you, on that part. Communicating your value, the value brings opportunities, and the opportunities transcend into profit. So please, the next slide. So again, I hope I'm making some sense, and I hope we're learning something. Okay. So again, I call this a branding funnel. Yeah, and I talk about it every time I have to speak about branding. Now imagine, so for some people, when there's some kinds of food that when you want to cook them, you must use a sieve. Maybe you want to sieve out, maybe it's rice. I know people cook rice in different ways, but for some people, when they cook rice, they have to parboil. So when they parboil, they have to sieve out the water and then put it back to get, to heat it up and all that. Now imagine that there's a sieve or there's a funnel, as the case is. It's a branding funnel. Imagine we're pouring you, or we are putting you inside that funnel. Or let me imagine that someone is putting Kemi inside that funnel. By the time someone puts me inside that funnel, what is going to come out at the other side? I'm sure we all know what a sieve looks like. You pour something inside, it's going to come out at the other side. So I'm imagining that someone puts me inside that sieve. What is going to come out on the other side? What are the things that will be checked while I'm inside that sieve or the funnel? Number one will be the information about you online. The experience people have with you. Those are the things that are forming your brand. The information about you online, the experience people have with you, what you say about yourself. What are you saying about yourself as a teacher or as an educator? What are you saying about yourself? What are other people saying about you? Again, we cannot push aside what social media brings. Okay, there's some background noise. We cannot push aside the essence of social media. Last year, I got an opportunity from someone, and when the person reached out to me, she told me that we searched you out. Anyway, I got the opportunity without even knowing that anyone was cooking up something for me. All they did was search me out on one or two platforms. They saw the content, the kind of content I create and the kind of perception, I put about myself in being a teacher, and they just decided that I was the best fit for that opportunity. Please, the next slide. Again, branding is about who you are, what you do as a teacher, and how you do it. So why should you position your teacher brand? Why should you build a strong teacher brand? Lots of opportunities that you can't even know till you put it out. Business opportunities, visibility opportunities. Please, the next slide, you may want to go ahead. In building your teacher brand again, you have job security, right? As you build your teacher brand, whatever organization it is you work with will recognize that, will recognize your value, right? Building a teacher brand makes you the person that is always in demand. I can tell you lots of times that I've had job offers, job opportunities from LinkedIn, from Facebook, from Instagram. I've had lots of job opportunities that most times, of course, because I haven't changed my job in a while, I always get to decline those opportunities, just explaining why I'm declining it. About 2 years ago, I got this opportunity from LinkedIn. Someone reached out to me on LinkedIn, and he owns a school somewhere here in Lagos. And he said, Kemi, I want you to come on board as our, what did you call it again? As our quality, what's the role again? Something about, just just checking out.
Quality control.
Quality control, yeah, something related to quality control in the school. A while ago, I got another opportunity again about heading a school. What am I saying? Lots of people, might be going after some job opportunities, putting out CVs, doing this, doing that. Building a brand, will have people coming to you. Oh, okay. Building. Okay, so I see Mr. Kim Benjamin in the chat box. Yeah, that's giving Mr. Kim Benjamin the salute, yeah, official salute. Okay, now building your brand will get people coming to you to give you offers, job offers. Let's go back to that chain, that value chain. First of all, you communicate your value. The value brings you opportunities. Those opportunities transcend into profit. So job security. Please, the next slide. Another thing that positioning your teacher brand will do for you is credibility. People will trust you. Know, like, trust. There's a KLT factor. People trust you, so they want to be associated with you. A few months ago, I created a resource for parents. And in about a few weeks, I had sold out more than 500 packs of that resource. Because immediately I put it out, lots of people just wanted to know, Kemi created something, can I get it? Just some weeks ago again, I created another resource, and I can tell you that the numbers are growing every day. Every day someone is asking for that resource, because I've kind of built some credibility around that name, Kemi Ogunsanya. I've pushed out the fact that I'm an educator. I love what I do. I try to get better at it. positioning your teacher brand gives you that credibility. So people want you to come to speak at events. People want you to just do things, with them. Please, the next slide. Okay, so I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run fast. Yeah. What's the path towards building a strong teacher brand? What's that path? One of it will be identifying your passion. What are you really passionate about as a teacher? Because you can't build a brand when you're not even sure about the path you want to go. Passion, how do I explain this now? Passion brings clarity. Yeah. Once you identify your passion, you must be clear about the platforms or tools to showcase yourself. There are many platforms, many social media platforms. Which one works for you? Okay, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's this, there's that. Which one works for you? So there's some people that will be on all the different platforms showcasing themselves. That's fine, awesome. But for some of us, we're going to identify the platforms that work for us. So what platforms work for you? So, okay, so you have to identify the platform that works for you, and then you can showcase yourself. You have to be sure. Okay, another thing will be creating content. What kind of content are you creating? Okay, and then relationship building, building a network of like-minded qualitative educators, relationship building. Yeah. Okay, please, the next slide. Because again, you can't build your brand in isolation. You can't build your brand just you, yourself, and just you, yourself. No, there has to be a connection with other educators. That's what makes your brand stronger. Again, in building your brand, I think so I talked about this before. To identify your passion, you have to do this form of self-analysis. What are my strengths? What works for me? What doesn't work for me? I can tell you that for me, I'll write more than I do videos. Yeah, I'll choose the text-based approach over videos. So I decided, okay, let me stick with platforms like Facebook, maybe it's LinkedIn, that I can do more of the written content. That's not to say I can't push myself to go on all those platforms that are just video-based, but I knew what my strengths were, and I decided to focus on those strengths. So what are those strengths? There are teachers that are doing different things. There's a teacher, Mr. Lalekon Adeko. He recently started creating tech videos in Yoruba. That's what he does. He uses the Yoruba language to create these technology videos, explaining things to people. He pushes it out on all the social media platforms. That's what he wants to do. He has identified what his strength can be. The question again is, what is your strength? What can you do? Okay, please, the next slide. I think I've mentioned this before. I've mentioned it just a minute ago. You have to find the platform that works for you. Lots of platforms exist. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, I think this slide has some positioning tools that can help in building your brand as a teacher. Just regular, just all of these are different sites. These slides could be shared afterwards and we could look through it. About.me is just it's like a personal profile kind of page, just a personal profile that has details about you and what you do. There's WordPress. You might not want to go the extent of building a website and all of that. You can just have a WordPress site. I know WordPress is, it's really affordable, and you can create something presentable from it. Yeah. And here, over here, I included a business card. And someone is going to tell me, a business card still existing? Okay, now it might not be the physical business cards. I've seen people use, use virtual means, right? But just attending events and being able to connect with people in different ways, whether it's, using a business card or you're just talking about yourself to random people, to people at events. It's a way to build your brand. For every event I attend, I try to meet at least 2-3 people. Yeah, so it's a way to build your brand, just getting to know people, building your relationship bank. Please, the next slide. Again, I've talked about this, so I'll skip it, please. Content, I'm going to skip this too. Yeah, because I think I've mentioned, so I talked about building content to showcase yourself on social media or on different platforms. So what you see on the screen right now are, activities I've had with my students, just different activities. And then I get to write about these activities. I share about it on social media just to talk about the different pedagogical strategies I'm using in my classroom. That's the content I push out. Don't forget that I said building your brand starts from who you are, what you do within your classroom or the organization that you work. So if I want to push myself out as a great teacher, I must be ready to implement good strategies within my classroom, which will now make up the content I'm pushing out to the world. Please, the next slide. Okay. So in building your brand reputation, there's some things you should watch out for. Consistency. So building up your brand is not about pushing yourself out one day and then you go silent for the next weeks. You come back again one day, you go for some months. It's about consistency. Just keeping at it, whether it's twice a week or once in a week, but just making sure that you're pushing yourself out there and people know that, oh, there's someone called Moses who is an educator. There's someone called Mary who is an educator. Showcasing your achievements. I know that sometimes we want to be really humble, so we don't want people to know all of our achievements, but then your achievements form your brand. Your achievements form your, build up your brand. Your achievements show people who you are and what you can do. So regularly showcase your achievements. Just like the story of the designer I started with. Use testimonials to your advantage. People say great things about you. Share it. Okay. Volunteering is another way to build your brand reputation. There are so many advantages that come with volunteering. I can't even begin to go into that. But it's one way again to build your brand, offering your value to people or to organizations. Please, the next slide. Okay. So it's impossible to build a brand without some measure of confidence in yourself, confidence in your ability. Again, I'm going to mention that some days ago, I was in a meeting with Mr. Kim. And the meeting it was just some few minutes, but I can tell you that I had lots and lots of notes from that meeting. I want to be sharing them in bits and pieces. I've shared one part of that, something I learned from that meeting, and I'm still going to go ahead to share some other things. And he shared this poem about our greatest fear. Yes, I think that's what it's titled, and I think we should also check it out. Maybe after this meeting, just check it out. That poem was about how, just how we should kill fear, right? Just kill fear. Do what needs to be done. In communicating your brand, you need to be confident. Most times I come across some teachers who aren't really confident about what they do. Okay, confidence is critical when it comes to building your brand. Okay, please, the next slide.
Kemi, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Although I joined the meeting late, but I've been.
I'm so sorry.
I meant Kemi, the host. I was talking to Kemi, the host.
Okay, I'm sorry, everyone. My network was misbehaving. Again, this slide is about the essence of social media when it comes to brand building. millions and billions of people on social media. Social media allows you to showcase yourself to lots of people. There are posts I've made on LinkedIn that have been viewed by hundreds of thousands of people, shared to people from different countries, different places. Just building up my reach. So if I sit down in my room right now or sit down in my classroom, it's just a limited number of people I can meet. If I decide to walk on the street, it's just a limited number of people I can meet. But then I go on social media where there are lots of people from different places. I can meet, my audience reach is wide. That's what happens when we showcase ourselves as teachers. Please, the next slide. Okay. In building your brand, we should understand that, I know that there's the imposter syndrome. Okay, you want to build your brand, you want to showcase yourself, but there's something telling you, oh, you're not good enough. What story do you have to share? I've had teachers tell me all of that. Oh, Kemi, I don't even know what to share about myself. I don't even know what to write. Kemi, I'm not even sure if I'm a great teacher. And I tell them, you're great at what you do. You have solid experiences to share. So the imposter syndrome wants to tell you, like the colleague I was speaking with some days ago, she told me, oh, Kemi, I don't even think my English language is so perfect. So how will I even write and come out on social media to say something? And I told her, start from somewhere. There are lots of technological tools you can use in your writings to make your writings perfect. There's Grammarly. You can write and move your writing to Grammarly to check and edit it, and then you push it out. So the imposter syndrome will keep building up excuses for you. Excuses. What should you do when those excuses and fear come up? Number one is to acknowledge those fears. What are my fears? I'm going to acknowledge them. Then I'm going to address those fears. So if your fear is, oh, I don't think I have a story, you have to, address them. Look at how much of work you've been doing, all of the effort and skills that you have, and you realize that you really have something to share. And then I reframe the fear. So I call it like my three-wheeled cycle, if I may say that, or a wheel, right? You acknowledge the fears. Don't behave as if there are no fears. Acknowledge them, and then you address them and you move forward. Please, the next slide. I think that's about my final slide. Okay. Again, I'm going to emphasize that the foundation of building a strong teacher brand starts from excellence on your current role. Excellence on your current role. Right now, I'm first of all a literacy teacher working with the young children in my classroom. And that's where building a teacher brand starts from. How well am I doing as a classroom teacher? It's showcasing all of those things from my classroom that started to bring me opportunities. Excellence on your current role is the foundation of teacher branding. Please, the next slide. So I think this is just summarizing what excellence on your current role means. It means having expert knowledge, building yourself over and over again. Again, I'm going to mention something Mr. Kim said when we had that meeting. He talked about the fish philosophy. And I'm not going to say much about it because I want you to research about it yourselves. The fish philosophy. So it kept me awake late at night. I just kept checking, just researching more and more. Expert knowledge on different things. So please check about the fish philosophy and how it relates to our work as educators. It's such a profound philosophy. Yeah. So giving 100% to your job. There are lots of problems associated with teaching or being an educator, but for all of those problems, there are solutions. Again, staying open-minded as an educator, being flexible to new innovations, new technological advancements. That's how you get excellent in your current role. Collaborating with other educators, being empathetic to your students, okay? Those are the things that bring about excellence in your current role. There's this quote that says that the students will remember, what's that quote again? Students will always remember the great teachers. They will always remember the teachers who were kind to them. They will always remember that teacher who will say, oh, tuck your shirt in, button up your shirt. They will always remember all of that. So beyond just being teachers with expert knowledge, there's a side of being empathetic. Please, the next slide. Okay, so I think I'm almost, these are just 3 quotes about branding that I always love to talk about. And I'm just going to speak about the first one. And the quote says that your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. So when you're not in a particular place, what does your brand say about you? When people check you out on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or on any social media platform, what do they see about you? Does your platform convince people? Does Your brand must be convincing enough, even when you're not there to talk about yourself. Your brand must speak for you. I'm confident about my social media pages that they can speak for me even when I'm asleep. I mean, you get on any of my social media pages, the only thing you're going to see is an educator who loves what she does. You're not just going to see, I mean, I'm intentional about my social media pages. So in fact, I don't even allow people get to tag me to things that are unnecessary. I'm really firm about what comes on those pages, because my brand is what people will say about me when I'm not in the room. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that's what branding is about. I'm just going to go back to what I started with: content, strategy, and style. That's what building a teacher brand is. My experience this morning at that debate competition, it's just everything about what branding is. Branding is about your voice as a teacher. We all have stories. Push out those stories. Let's showcase them some more. Let's get access to more opportunities that are out there. And yeah, so that's where I'm just going to end today. I want to believe that we've all been able to learn one thing or the other. Yes, so thank you very much, Fatima. Thank you very much, Mr. Kim. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm sure I can take some few questions.
Yeah, thank you so much. Very insightful, very interesting. So we're opening the floor for questions. You can either type it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and speak to Kemi. Thank you, Kemi. I think people are typing in the chat. So many words of encouragement in the chat box. Okay, thank you, Kemi. So much to take home from Joy. Thanks so much, Kemi. That was awesome. From Mr. Smarts. Fantastic from Mr. Akeem. Thank you so much, Kemi. Thanks for the motivation from Rashida. So many nuggets. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think you said it all. I think you answered all our questions, and it has been inspirational and motivational. Thank you very, very much. I hope we can act on all the nuggets that we received. So anything else? Keep up the good work. Thank you for the motivation, though I joined in the middle. Yeah, I'll be sharing the recording and I'll be sharing the slides. Well done, very insightful session. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank
so
you.
there's
well
a question.
done.
I think there's a question.
Oh, okay. How does your school deal with privacy?
Okay, so I think I'll want this, I mean, I might want the person to explain a bit further and add more context to the question.
Okay, now, Babatunde Fatiniku, do you want to unmute? And Babatunde Fatiniku, can you hear me?
Okay, privacy of sharing content. Yes, so how does my school deal with it? So first off, most of the times when photos of students, yes. So most times when I share pictures, I try to, I try not to focus more on the children's faces. So there are ways in which I blur out some of the pictures in which you might not see the children's faces. You see what is happening, but you might not see the children's faces. And then most often I try to focus on myself as a teacher. So there are ways in which I can take pictures even in the classroom where you might not even see the student. Okay, I can take off far-off pictures. Yeah, so that's it. That's how I get to deal with that. And there are a few times where some children's faces I've showed in my pictures where I had the permission. I had full total permission of their parents, and of the school to do that.
Yeah.
Again, when you build a strong teacher brand, people want their faces to be associated with you. So that's it.
Okay, I think Rashida has her hand up. Rashida, you can unmute.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for a very powerful talk. I also joined a bit late, I apologize, but I will go back to watch the parts I missed. So my question is regarding focus. So some of us have, as teachers, we have our teaching work that we do, and we wish to promote ourselves as a teaching brand. But at the same time, we have some other products that are not necessarily related to education at all. So for example, I don't know, maybe I sell biscuits, just an example. Is there a clash in that sometimes I'm pushing content about why biscuits are important and good to use, and then at other times I'm talking about myself as an educator? Do we need to focus on one, or is it okay to do all 2, 3, 4 simultaneously?
Okay, so it's okay. I mean, it's fine to have different areas that you're focusing on, but I mean, there must be some form of consistency. So I'm talking about, so let's say I make hair products, or maybe I sell female accessories or something, right? For me, I think I'll have 2 different pages. I might have open up one page where, I focus on that 100%. Now, once in a while, I might get to talk about those things I do on my main pages, but I won't let that be the central focus, because again, I'm passing a message across. I'm selling something. I'm selling Kemi Ogunsanya, who is an educator, first of all. That's the first thing I'm selling, besides every other thing. So for me, I create resources and then I push them out. So maybe because my resources are educational resources, so it might not be so much of a clash. But if I'm going to do something that is not educational, I'm going to open a separate page for that. Yeah, so if I have to share it on my profile page or my main page, it'll just be once in a while. Yeah.
Thank you.
Or again, maybe having different platforms. So my WhatsApp, the kind of content I share on my WhatsApp status is different from what I share sometimes on my Facebook. It's about understanding the peculiarity of different platforms and the kind of reach it will get to you. So you can decide, okay, I'm going to use my Instagram for this. I'm going to use my Facebook for this. So understanding, the peculiarity of different platforms, that's what I'll say.
Right. Okay. I don't think there are any other questions, just appreciation. Any other questions? Okay. Well, we really had a fantastic time learning from you about branding, and I'm sure you've inspired all of us to put ourselves forward and sell ourselves and brand ourselves as much as we can. I just want to add a quick notice to all the black belts that are part of the HP Mentor Teacher Program, that you should have received your invitation from RISMA anyway. If you haven't received your invitation, please, you can send me a direct message. I can forward the email to you. It's going to be on Tuesday, the 31st of January, same time, 6 to 7 p.m. Nigerian time, where we'll be launching the HP Mentor Teacher Program. So hopefully we'll see you all on Tuesday. Have a nice evening. Thank you so much, Kemi. Well done.
Amazing presentation, Kemi. I hope there will be many more master classes where we can take a deeper dive to this. My contribution, if you allow me to the closing, is by nature, I don't like to be out there. I don't like to share my stuff. I don't like to be the center of any kind of attention. But sometimes when you do work that is important, that matters, in as much as you feel uncomfortable doing it, putting yourself out there, you owe it to your constituency. You actually owe it to yourself, to let the world know. And you don't have to share personal information. And I think that's the message Kemi was trying to pass along to us. Nothing personal, but you want to make sure that you own your narrative. Don't let any other person tell your story. You understand? And as a teacher, it is really, really hard enough for us. However, learn a lot from the professionals who have done it. There's a reason why, and look at all the examples that she gave. You know, you could be fantastic. You could be very, very good at what you're doing. But if you don't position yourself, you're not going to maximize the opportunities in your favor. So thank you very much, Kemi. We really, really appreciate this. We hope that you're going to be part of this initiative that we're building for teachers, for them to stand tall and for them to own their narrative, you know, and be proud of what they're doing, just like everybody else.
Yeah, well said, Hakeem. Thank you. Right, so we're going to call it a day. Have a nice evening. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Kemi, for sharing those inspiration with us. Thank you. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.